Following the withdrawal of US forces, Afghanistan started to step up international collaboration in an effort to fast revive its faltering economy. China, the second largest economy in the world, is significant to international commerce. China is a crucial cooperating partner for the modern Afghanistan. Before that, China and the Taliban in Afghanistan worked together to relaunch a $50 billion project that was the envy of the whole world. What are the two nations' current initiatives of cooperation? Why do the Taliban have such high regard for China? Afghanistan's total national strength has been significantly diminished after 20 years of conflict. This is the period when Afghanistan most needs financial assistance from abroad. The future of Afghanistan is now quite unknown due to the recent abrupt change in the political environment. However, whomever leads Afghanistan, as long as it is able to retain economic ties with other nations and swiftly raise its own economic standing. This, in my opinion, is what every Afghan wants most. Afghanistan is fully a coffer in terms of mineral resources, despite the fact that the country's soil is quite desolate. There are thought to be roughly 400 million tons of coal and 10 billion tons of iron ore in Afghanistan's more than 1,400 identified reserves. In addition, there are 3.56 billion barrels of oil, 19.15 trillion cubic meters of natural gas, 30 million tons of copper, gold, and molybdenum mines, and more. The Anak copper mine is an example of one of these untapped mineral reserves. The Anak copper mine is situated in Afghanistan's Lagar province. The ore is enormous in size and of the highest grade. Preliminary exploratory findings indicate that there may be up to 450 million tons of ore in this region, which can provide roughly 30 million tons of copper ore. The second biggest proven undeveloped copper mine in the world. This project is the largest copper mine in Afghanistan. China can continue to run the Anak copper mine according to a statement made by the Afghan Taliban government's Ministry of Mines in April of this year. How significant is China's Anak copper mine in Afghanistan? China, the nation with the highest economic growth, consumes more than 10 million tons of copper annually, or 50 of global consumption. Additionally, China needs to use more copper resources as a result of its success in the field of new energy vehicles. Experts believe that at least 80 kg of copper were used in the production of each electric car. According to China's capacity to produce electric vehicles, annual copper consumption will be between 1 million and 1.3 million tons. However, China only produces 10 of the world's copper ore, necessitating China to import a significant amount of copper ore each year. As a result, China can continue to run a top-tier copper mine, and collaboration is highly valuable. Additionally, China dislikes activities that result in a loss of money, and the Anak copper mine project offers the country the opportunity to do both. The Anak copper mine's refined copper will increase output to 220,000 tons annually. At least 1.2 billion US dollars will be produced overall annually as a consequence. Therefore, it is anticipated that the entire output value would exceed $50 billion US throughout the 30-year mining term held by China. Furthermore, it is impossible to quantify the political significance of this enterprise in terms of money. The Anak copper mine's output value contributes around 47% of Afghanistan's yearly GDP and will provide more than 10,000 employment for locals. But it's important to remember that China owns the copper mine. In other words, China's copper mines have the potential to significantly increase Afghanistan's revenue. Furthermore, China is actively pushing the Belt and Road. The Afghan government will be more sympathetic to the Chinese government if the Anak copper mine can serve as a turning point. Allow them to participate in the Belt and Road Plan, which is unquestionably a win-win partnership. In reality, China already in 2007 won the auction for the Anak copper mine. However, the massive copper mine that China funded in Afghanistan has not been used for a variety of reasons. And after 15 years of inactivity, the copper mine has suddenly begun. What caused the delay? Companies from South Korea, Australia, and other nations were competing with China at the time. China ultimately prevailed in the bidding process and secured full management rights for the exploration and development of the Anak copper mine. The deal states that the project will take 5 years to develop and 30 years to mine. This copper mine has received tens of billions of dollars from China. It is crucial to complete the Anak copper mine project in Afghanistan because of the country's lagging economy. Chinese businesses have constructed hospitals, schools, and are getting ready to build steel plants and railroads, in addition to 400,000 kilowatt thermal power plants, water pumping stations, and phosphate fertilizer plants. Although the mining project known as Anak Copper Mine is a win-win partnership, things have not always gone well. The copper mine is situated in the most impoverished and unemployed region in Afghanistan, but the locals there are quite angry with the government because China agreed to provide adequate compensation for the region, but the local government did not distribute the money to the population. The project's development schedule was frequently postponed. The mine was shut down again in 2012 as a result of an R-14 once the compensation problem was finally settled. However, something new occurred in 2015 when China found archaeological sites in the mining region. This time, Chinese corporations were criticized directly by the media in Western nations, which claimed that their mining practices would damage priceless historical sites and artifacts. The initiative had to be shut down once more due to demand from the general people on a global scale. In just 5 years, the Anak copper mine might have been finished and put into operation, but it has already been ongoing for 15 years. Afghanistan needs foreign investment now more than ever with the advent of the Afghan Taliban's new regime. The Anak copper mine commissioning is once more on the schedule. Therefore, why did Afghanistan decide to work with China? Everyone is aware of China's commitment to world peace, in my opinion. Additionally, China has given Afghanistan ongoing aid. China's support gave the Afghan people hope when they were dangerously short on food and other basics. China gave Afghanistan food and other supplies worth $35.35 million in August of last year. More than 1,000 people were killed and tens of thousands of homes were destroyed in Afghanistan on June 22 of this year. Afghanistan has received financial and material support from China. China has opened up the pine nut route, in addition to offering emergency humanitarian aid to Afghanistan in order to meet the country's pressing needs for economic growth. Since the world's perceptions of the Taliban in Afghanistan are still very fragile, the Taliban is also searching for a development that will aid in their assimilation, and one of their top targets is China. The Taliban wants closer ties with China, which is why they are allowing China to produce copper inside Afghanistan. The group is also very interested in China's Belt and Road Initiative. All forces that pose a threat to China's security will be forced from Afghanistan, according to the Taliban. China views the Taliban's declarations and commitments as being very sincere. China has always had a high regard for the Afghan people and views Afghanistan as an impregnable nation. China is willing to help Afghanistan develop and build, and it is hopeful that the Taliban will keep its promise to give Afghans a safe and sanitary environment in which to live. China and Afghanistan's interactions have resulted in a win-win situation, particularly for Afghanistan's economy. There is no doubt that the future of the two nations will be better. Subscribe for more videos like this